is 1:40 a.m. on Wednesday the 28th. This is for Tuesday the 27th. Project X video though, but I just got finished with work and food and all of that stuff. So I still haven't had a shower yet and started going to bed, but I just got finished with my stuff, so that's why I'm filming it at this time, because I didn't want to do it as part of procrastination of my work. So I have a lot of work to do at the moment for my exam. It was a pretty good day, to be fair. I had a bit of a slip up in the middle of the day, but other than that, it was alright. Like, I got up early, started getting on with my shit, started doing work, was finding it really hard to get on with work and concentrate, and found it pretty hard to get up in the morning and all this kind of stuff. But at the moment, I've been using like a technique, I guess you could say, that once I get out of my bed, because I put my alarm the other side of my room, so I have to leave my bed to go and get the alarm and turn it off. Then I make my bed and take my vitamins and stuff straight away, and I can't get back into that bed once it's made. At least not until I don't know, some sensible time, which is what I slipped up on. I was really tired. I went to bed at 5 a.m. last night. I can't sleep at the moment. I'm really struggling sleeping, which is really bad, especially for the gym, but also for just general productivity and things like this. Really struggling sleeping, going to sleep at about 5 a.m. most days, and then getting up at 9, which is dumb. So I ended up sleeping between 1 and 3:30, and then didn't get out of bed till 5. But then continued with work after that. Went to the gym and did chest and back workout, which is quite good. And I'm going to do my neck workout in a minute for next season's rugby. And also just to grow my neck. I don't want to have tiny neck and all this kind of stuff if I'm going to try and get big, which I am, because I'm bulking at the moment. Made some really good food. I'm absolutely loving cooking at the moment. I've always kind of liked cooking. My mum and dad showed me some stuff, but I taught myself quite a bit of it. I just got quite interested in cooking before I started going to university, because I knew I was going to need to cook at uni, and started cooking a lot, and just trying stuff, and I think it's the best way to learn. I mean, doing that and then also researching maybe the important stuff, not necessarily researching how to make a super complicated dish, but researching how to hold a knife properly, how to chop properly, and all this kind of stuff. And I don't know why I'm now talking about cooking. Today was pretty good, but I knew that there would be kind of a out of the gates streak once I started this, and also the notebook that I'm using to kind of track my progress and things like that. Because I feel like whenever it is that you're starting, so say you're starting a new gym routine or all this kind of stuff, out of the gates, it's pretty quick, and you're getting after it because it's something new and it's something that you're putting a conscious effort towards. But the more it goes on, the more you allow your discipline to slack, and you allow a excuse to become the any excuse, if you know what I mean. Just not going once because of maybe some things that can be an excuse and can get in the way, and that's okay. But once you start to skip more than once, there's a golden rule of not skipping twice, because that's when bad habits start to grow. And the really frustrating thing about bad habits that I'm learning at the moment is that you can't just break a bad habit. You can. It's a way of thinking about it. You see what I mean? So you do break bad habits, and you can just break a bad habit, and it takes a lot of discipline to do that. But the better way to think about it, in my opinion, and the way that I'm going to try and think about it, is you starve a bad habit by not feeding it. And every day that I don't feed it is a positive day, and every day that I do feed it is something I need to reevaluate. So say eating carrots, which is a really bad habit of mine, and I don't want to eat carrots anymore. Every day that I manage to not eat a carrot, I'm not feeding that bad habit. And someone who's really disciplined could go, I'm not eating carrots anymore, and they wouldn't eat any carrots. But that's really, really hard, and gaining that discipline is what is the hard bit, and I feel like this is a good way to do it, in thinking about it like this, instead of forcing yourself into the kind of all or nothing mindset that a lot of people get into. I myself have gotten into it with trying to stop drinking or trying to stop smoking or a bunch of different things like this. You kind of get into that all or nothing mindset, which I'm trying to get myself out of. I actually managed to have a drink not too long ago that didn't go too far. It's something I'm working on, definitely something I'm working on. But I've gotten really good at not doing it. It's just when I do it, controlling it. But that's a different story. But what I was saying, brain, please, is it's about starving that habit. So each day that you don't feed that habit, you could think about that as a tick or a win, or starving that habit. And slip-ups happen, and it doesn't mean that all your progress is lost. Say you were trying to quit drinking. If you drink one day, it's not fine. You know, you're going to be annoyed at yourself, and you did mess up, and that's fine, because it's about how you respond to it. If you respond to it like, I messed up, I'm pissed off with myself, drink because I'm pissed off with myself, and I'm gonna, drink because I might as well, because I already ruined my streak. I hadn't done it for a couple of weeks, and I thought I was gonna get the whole month, and now the month's out the window. I'm gonna have to start again, and it's all too much, because it can be too much. But when you can think of it as, oh no, that was shit, I fed that bad habit again, which might make it last a little bit longer, because it's got that little bit of food that it didn't have before. But if I can then continue to starve it after that, eventually I'm going to win this battle. Even if it's slowly and it takes time, and some of these things aren't a linear process for a lot of people, myself included, of course. In fact, I would argue for all people. You could be the most disciplined individual on the planet, but what that means, in my eyes, is the way in which you respond to things is really disciplined. And this is what some of this Project X stuff is about, is trying to instill some of that discipline in myself, but mostly just trying to become a better person each and every day, just by a little bit. Which I'm sure is going to be great fun to fucking, I don't know, for anyone that knows me, but no one who knows me is going to see any of this, so yeah, so it was an alright day, not too bad. Learned some stuff, mostly about like dynamics of mechanical systems and stuff like that. I actually learned something really cool, which I can't remember, but I remember learning it. Give me 2 seconds. It was about inertia and how like inertia is not real or something like that. But like it's like, so when you're turning the car like that, you go this way, where there's centripetal acceleration that way, but the like imaginary inertia force is like what's kind of pushing you that way. There's stuff about that. Because like centrifugal, no, that's what it was. Inertia's fine. The centrifugal force is like a myth or something like that, because the centripetal acceleration that way, so it's like the equal and opposite, something like that. I don't know. I really hope that no one who's like smart watches this, but yeah, good day. Managed to get a lot of work done. Tried to stick to my task. Had a bit of a slip up in the middle, but that's fine, because, as I said, breaking these bad habits is about acknowledging as well when you have fed it and learning from it. And that's what I'm trying to do with reviewing this stuff at the end of the day. I can say, I slipped up here, I fucked up here, I did this, I did that. But how can I improve that? Like, you can't just, you can't just fuck up and then go, oh no, let's keep going. And that's a great thing to do, right? but you've also got to learn from it, because if you're not learning from it, you're destined to repeat it. So like there's a quote that goes something like, "Those who don't study history are destined to repeat it." I think that's a really good quote, and I think it applies in so many situations. I think it applies politically and all this stuff, but it applies to yourself. If you don't think about why something might have happened, then you can't really alter it. So like mine, I was really tired at like, I was struggling to do work in the morning, so it took me a while to wake up, and I have a lot of caffeine. It's got to have something. No, I have a lot of caffeine, and so I had like a white monster in the morning, and it was waking me up, and I started doing some work, and it was like, I was like really, really tired. It didn't seem like it was doing anything, but I think it was like a bit of laziness, not wanting to do the work, big daunting task in front of me, all this kind of stuff, like seemed like there was no end in sight. And I said to myself, and this was the first bit, you let that thought creep in by justifying it. So like, oh, I just want to stop doing work, but I can't stop doing work. But I could stop doing work at 1. Instead of going, I could go for a walk at 1 and then come back and keep doing work. I thought, oh, I could just go for a nap at 1, knowing a bit that nap's going to last for a long time, because I'm really tired, because I only got 4 hours of sleep, like from 5 to like 9. I actually like fell over trying to get to my alarm as well, like literally like ate shit in the morning. Luckily my curtains were closed so no one saw. But yeah, and then so it was like 12:30 as well, copped out early, and then yeah, slept probably till 3:30, and then even then didn't get up till after, but then eventually managed to get up, out, make some food, make a bit of coffee, begin doing a little bit of work, went to the gym. That was a big one. The gym always helps with my motivation, especially at the moment. I'm really enjoying the gym. Went to the gym, came back, did some more work. Think I copped out a little bit early. On the working evening as well. It's okay. I'm not going to have as much work done as I would have liked, but I did a lot more than I set as like I call them non-negotiables. And this video is kind of getting a little bit long, but non-negotiables is like, in my little notebook that I'm doing, I'll talk about the structure of this. I don't know if I mentioned it in the first video, but I can talk a little bit more in depth if anyone wants to know. Probably don't. No one's probably going to watch this, but it'd be something that I'd be interested in talking to. I can hear my flatmates outside. But and now I've completely lost my train of thought. The non-negotiables are something like 1 or 2 things, so that you have to think which things are my non-negotiables, and you have to do them, and I like a really bad day, which I've got like a marker for, so I can kind of track what kind of a streak I'm in, good streak, bad streak, and you can identify why that is. And the non-negotiables are things you have to do, and if you can't do them, that might be, quite a bad day, and you can think about tomorrow, like, how can I change things so that I can do them. And one of my non-negotiables today was go to the gym and do 3 hours of work, and I did. Ended up doing 5+, which was one of my other goals. But still, I kind of wanted to do about 8 or something, because I need to do a lot, but it's fine. But yeah, trying to get better day by day. Yesterday was a lot better. No, sorry, today was a lot better than yesterday. Yesterday wasn't that great. The day before that was even worse. So, it is working. But it feels a bit annoying at the moment, because I was kind of doing quite well, and something happened fairly recently. I did mention it, but it's all good. Something happened fairly recently that kind of took me a lot by surprise and knocked me off a little bit, but it's about, as I said, being disciplined in trying to pick myself back up and get myself together and keep going, because I am responsible for what I can control, and I need to keep that in mind, because I spent a very, very, very long time throwing a big pity party for myself, trying to justify to myself and the world why I was having such an awful time and feeling awful and not doing what I should have been, when really, instead of trying to justify that to everyone else through, I don't know, maybe a bunch of different things that someone can analyze as whatever. I could have just been making the situation better because I can control things and I am responsible for the things that I can control. And this is all of me speaking. Ideally, I would love to be able to stick to all of the things I'm speaking about right now 100% easily. And I don't think it's ever going to be easy. And I think that's the fun of it, to be honest. At least that's what I'm kind of enjoying about it. Is figuring myself out, and that's another thing. I should probably shut up now, but I think that's another thing that this is about, which is really important, is figuring myself out a lot more than I ever have before, and kind of taking this journey of self-improvement with myself and understanding the way I work and the way I figure things out, and actually, instead of just saying I figured something out because I watched a video or saw someone else do this or heard from someone else. It's so easy to say that you understand something or that you know it because someone told you it and you took it on board a bit. But like actually going out there and I don't know, figuring it out and doing it for yourself and stuff like that is a really good way of teaching it, and it's the hard way to learn and I don't know, stuff like that. I'm chatting bollocks now. So, yeah. Not dead yet.